There is a moment, a single, brutal moment that happens to every human being on earth, yet almost no one dares to speak about it. It does not happen in the boardroom. It does not happen on stage. It does not happen when you are busy, distracted, or loved. It happens at exactly 3 a.m., when the world has gone silent, when your phone is dead, when the darkness is so complete that your own heartbeat becomes deafening. And in that moment, your brain does something terrifying. It stops performing. It stops pretending. It stops protecting you, and it shows you the truth, the real truth. Not the truth you post online, not the truth you tell your friends over coffee, the truth you buried so deep that you built an entire life on top of it just to keep it silent. This is the 3 a.m. test, and you are failing it every single night. Let me explain. 2,000 years ago, the Roman Emperor Marcus Aurelius wrote something that modern psychology has only recently proven. He said, "The happiness of your life depends upon the quality of your thoughts." But here is what he did not need to explain, because every ancient civilization already knew it. The quality of your thoughts cannot be judged during the day, because during the day, you are an actor. You wear costumes, you recite lines, you play the role of a productive person, a happy person, a person who has it all together. But at 3 a.m., the stage lights go out, the audience goes home, and you are left alone with the one audience member who cannot be fooled, yourself. Neuroscientists call this the default mode network. It is the part of your brain that activates when you are not focused on the outside world, when you are not scrolling, when you are not working, when you are not distracting yourself with noise. And in that state, your brain does not think about your goals. It thinks about your regrets. It does not think about your future. It thinks about your failures. It does not think about who you are becoming. It thinks about who you failed to be. And that is why most people are terrified of silence. That is why we sleep with TVs on. That is why we check our phones at red lights. That is why we fill every single second with something, anything, to avoid the one conversation that matters. The conversation with the version of us that exists underneath all the performance. But here is the ancient secret that changes everything. The Stoics did not fear the 3 a.m. moment. They designed their entire lives to survive it. Seneca, the philosopher who advised emperors, practiced something every evening that modern therapists now charge $200 an hour to teach. He called it the evening examination. Every night, before sleep, he would sit in silence and ask himself 3 questions. And these 3 questions were so brutally honest that they destroyed the need for the 3 a.m. terror entirely. First, what did I do today that I should not have done? Not what did I fail to do? Not what did I miss? What did I actively choose that moved me away from the person I want to be? Second, what did I avoid today because it was hard? Not what was impossible. Not what was unfair. What did I refuse to face because comfort felt safer than growth? And third, the question that cuts the deepest. If tonight was my last night, would I be proud of how I spent today? Not satisfied, not comfortable, proud. Because here is the terrifying mathematics of life. Every day you do not ask these questions, you are not living. You are rehearsing. You are practicing a version of yourself that you will have to abandon at 3 a.m. anyway. And the longer you rehearse, the louder the 3 a.m. voice becomes, until one night, it does not wake you up gently. It screams. And when it screams, it does not ask for your attention. It demands your change, or it demands your destruction. Most people choose destruction. They choose the slow death of a life that looks successful on the outside, but is hollow on the inside. They choose the relationship that looks perfect in photos, but is dead in conversation. They choose the career that impresses strangers, but imprisons the soul. And they choose it because asking these 3 questions is painful, but not asking them is fatal. The ancient Stoics understood something that we have forgotten. The mind is not a storage device. It is a garden, and whatever you plant during the day, you will harvest at 3 a.m. If you plant distraction, you harvest anxiety. If you plant avoidance, you harvest dread. If you plant lies, you harvest the truth at the worst possible moment. But if you plant honesty, if you plant courage, if you plant the willingness to look at yourself and say, "Today I was not good enough, and tomorrow I will be better," then the 3 a.m. moment transforms. It does not become a test you fail. It becomes a meeting with your greatest ally, the version of you that knows exactly what you are capable of, the version of you that is not impressed by your excuses.
The version of you that is waiting for you to stop performing and start building. So, here is your challenge. Tonight, not tomorrow. Tonight, sit in a dark room for 10 minutes. No phone, no music, no distraction, just you and the silence. And ask yourself Seneca's 3 questions. Because the person who can survive their own silence is the person who can survive anything. And the person who cannot, they will spend the rest of their life running from a clock that always strikes 3 a.m. The choice is yours, but the clock is ticking. And the darkness always wins, unless you meet it first. If this reached you, then you already know what to do. Meet the darkness before it meets you.